Hey guys, this is another Pilates Flow. Today we're going to be focusing on inner thighs and core. They're all connected, so we're really getting that little bonus activation for the core as well. It's going to be around 25 to 30 minutes. It's funny because whenever I plan out the flow and I actually edit, it's getting a little bit longer, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to have the windows open as well to have a little airflow, so if there's a little bit of New York honking in the middle, just feel like, imagine that you're living in New York. And then I highly suggest that you have some kind of cushion, whether it is a sand ball in Pilates terms, it's a slightly deflated ball, even though this one's not that deflated. A cushion, a small cushion, or even like a rolled up towel is always good. But all of these exercises, you do not technically need it, so it's fine if you don't have it. But it is a little bit of an extra dialing up sensation if you do have some kind of soft, little deflated little ball, cushion, or whatnot. But yeah, regardless, let's get started. So we are going to start with the bridging series. So let's lie down. In your back. So you're going to be in your supine. So head is down, head is heavy, back of your shoulders heavy, back of your ribs, and back of your tailbone. Your heels are heavy as well, and it's going to be hips a distance apart, and your knees will be over your heels. Let's get that bumpy ball, the sad ball, or the deflated cushion or whatnot between your two inner thighs. As well, you're going to be in a nice neutral spine. And let's just start with some pelvic tilts. So you're going to have your hands on top of your pelvis. So I like to create a diamond shape with my two hands, which is going to be your pointer fingers and your thumbs together. With that diamond shape, you're going to put it on top of your pelvis so that the thumb places right over your belly button, and those fingertips are towards your pubic bone. And from here, it should be nice and flat because you have a nice little lift of your lower lumbar spine. So which is that natural curvature of your spine. Exhale as you flush and flatten out that spine in towards the floor, tilting your tailbone slightly up. That's your tuck. Inhale, draw the tailbone back down. Have a slight lift the size of a blueberry. That's your neutral spine. Exhale, flatten out that lower back, tuck. Inhale, bring it back in. We're just going to keep going at that for a few more. Warming up the lower abs and that lower spine. And every time you tuck, can you give a little bit of squeeze of your inner thighs as well? Teaching your mind to really connect those inner thighs and that lower abs. We're just here for 3. Into. Last one. And bring it back into neutral. Let's have your hands by your side. If you want to open up your shoulders, you can always have your palms facing up here as well. That's always optional. From here, keep that little squeeze of that side ball. You are going to tuck that pelvis. And from here, initiating the roll up into a bridge, one vertebrae at a time. Hold here. Send those knees out really long and away from you over those heels. Really lengthening out the front of those quads and those hip flexors here. Really great. Keep that little squeeze of those inner thighs. Inhale. Exhale, let's melt yourself down, starting from your sternum. Stamping down one each vertebrae at a time. Go back to neutral. Let's keep going with that exhale into that articulated bridge. Inhale at the top. Exhale, melt yourself back down. So the key here is to go as slowly as possible, especially as you just started. You just want to wake up the spine, you know? Focusing on really lengthening the spine and growing tall instead of just rushing through it and crunching anywhere. Creating some unnecessary tension, you know? This also feels nice to give a nice massage to that spine as well. If at any point of the time, if you're feeling pretty comfortable with your balance, you can always have your arms lifted up a few inches as well, or even towards the ceiling, relying less on your triceps and more on the back of your legs. This is always optional. If you do need a little bit more stability, you can always have your arms back down. Alright, for one last time, you're going to hold at the top of the bridge and hold. Keep that little squeeze of that ball. From here, we're gonna go back into neutral spine. So you're gonna drop that pelvis slightly and squeeze the glutes as you tuck. Drop and tuck. So it kind of feels like a really small sit down in a chair and bring it back up. Super small. You should really feel the underglute of your back leg. So basically, right where that smile line is between that hamstring and those glutes. That's where you're really squeezing and activating here. Every time you extend your hips towards the ceiling. We're just here for 4 and 3. You're going to hold at the top. In 2. Last one, can you hold at the top and hold? You're going to squeeze your inner thighs in towards each other, giving the sad ball a little bit of squeeze. We're just here for 10 and 9 and 8. Waking up those inner thighs. And 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Keep that squeeze as you roll yourself down. Shake it off. We just have one more series here. So let's beat back up into a bridge. Hold. From here, keeping that squeeze. Can you pull your right toes out, extending the right legs out? Bring it back in. Left leg out. And bring it back in. If this is too much instability, have your arms back on the floor here. Making sure those hips don't rock. I like to even have my hands on my hip bones sometimes just to make sure that it is level. You're just alternating your legs. Working those obliques. We're just here for 5. And 4. And 3. Last 2. Last one. You are going to hold that right leg extended and hold from here. Really pressing towards that left heel, guys. So lift those hips up. You're going to squeeze that right leg into that ball. We're just here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Place it down. Left leg extended. Pulse it in. We're just here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Give that bumpy side ball a little bit of squeeze before you roll yourself down. Shake it up. You're done with your bridging. Really great work. From here, extend your legs out long. Have your hands reaching up, holding up that ball, that cushion, whatnot, and you're going to come into a slow roll up. So you're going to tuck your chin in, really reach those hands away from you as you come up into a full sitting. Really great, guys. And from here, you're going to put that prop behind the back of your ribs. So right where the thoracic spine is, and if you don't know what that means, it means if you are a female, it's right where that bra line will hit. So that's where you just want to place that prop at a little bit of elevation before you lie back down. Again, you can do everything without it if you don't have one. And from here, have your 2 feet grounded down. Your hands are going to be behind the back of your head. So really knit your hands together so it really creates a cradle. Really reach those elbows up towards the ceiling. Extend back. This should feel nice. Exhale, nod and curl up. Inhale, drop back. Exhale, nod and curl up. So we're just starting with a few simple nod and curl ups here. So for these first few reps, can you focus on your form? That tailbone is really heavy. Those shoulders are relaxed from your ears, so it's not crunching up towards your ears. And also every time you nod and curl up, can you look into your abs and make sure it's not pouching up towards the ceiling, losing control. That's rectus abs, so six pack. You're really drawing the belly button up and in towards your sternum so that your core is always active. And that your rib cage is really, your two ribs are really closed in as well instead of just flaring up towards the ceiling. There's a little bit of hair on the open. Okay. We're just here for 3 more, and we're going to hold at the top. Last one, can you hold at the top and hold from here? Can you bring your right leg up to tabletop? Lower down. Left leg up to tabletop. And lower down. You are just in a single leg toe tap here. You're keeping your shoulder blades really off the floor this entire time. You're using your abs to prop yourself up here, not your neck. Those hips are stable, they're not rocking every time you bring one leg up to tabletop. We're just here for 4 or more. 3. And 2. Last one. The next time your right leg comes to the tabletop, can you hold? You're going to meet it with the left leg here. Zip those 2 legs together. So you're in a double leg tabletop. Can you tap both of those feet down a few inches? And exhale, drive back in. So you might not be able to touch those toes towards the floor as the same range of motion as earlier. Totally understandable, especially as it's now double leg. So if you ever feel like your lower back is arching whenever you're tapping your toes down, you just limit your range of motion because we do not want to get into that lower back. As you see, I am not even bothered to touch the toes towards the floor because I want to maintain a healthy neutral spine. You should feel a slight shake of your abs every time you lower those legs down. I know mine are. We're just here for 4 more. And 3. 2. Last one. You're going to hold a tabletop hold. Can you extend the right leg out long? Bring it back in. Left leg out long. And bring it back in. So now you're in a single leg extension. Can you really shimmy those 2 legs along each other? So if you're wearing leggings or pants or whatnot, really feel like those inside seams of those pants are rubbing along each other, gliding along. So that way, you're still keeping your inner thighs activated here. In terms of the diagonal, the lower your leg goes when you're going to diagonal, like towards the floor like this, it is going to be more activation for those lower abs. But again, if you feel a little bit of a lower back tension or you feel like you're overarching whenever you do that, just bring your legs towards that 45-degree diagonal. And if that's too much, just bring it a little bit higher towards the ceiling like this. Your choice here, guys. We're just here for 4. Keep breathing. And 3. I know this is a pretty extended abs series. And 2. Last one. And of course, can you send both legs out long, zipping those inner thighs together and bring it back in. Exhale as you extend and bring it back in. We're just here for 6 more so that we have a total of 8 reps here. And we just have one final push at the end. 4 more. Keep drawing those abs in, guys. 3 and 2. Last one, can you extend and hold? From here, actually rotate those toes away from each other. Can you crisscross those legs? Again, getting into those inner thighs, so keep those crisscross super tiny. We're just here for 10 and 9. Can you come up off your shoulder blades even more? And 7 and 6 and 5. Last 4 and 3 and 2. Last 1. And bring it back in. Whew. Bring your head back. You can bring your knees in towards your chest. Really squeeze it in. Really great. From here, again, let's bring your 2 feet extended. Bring your hands up towards the ceiling. You're going to come up to roll up. All right, we're going to go into some side lying series now. So you are going to go on your right forearm. And then go on your right hip. And from here, that's that extra prop could be in front of you. You're going to be reaching into it really quickly. You're going to send the bottom leg out long. So right leg out long. You're going to bring your left leg up and over so that you are on your tippy toes of your left. Just make sure that that left hip is stacked over your right hip. So it's not, your hip isn't going towards the back or overly towards the front here. Can you point that right leg out and about away from you here as well? You're already guessing what we're about to do. We're going to do some right inner thigh here. And from here, I like to usually have the prop underneath my lower rib here. So really make myself lift up and off from the prop. So it's a little additional feedback. If you don't want to do that, you can always just have it right here. But just again, really remember to push away from that right shoulder blade here. And from here, can you lift the bottom leg up and down? Up and down. Really great. So really use that right inner thigh to lift those legs up and down. Really great. I like to again have my top hand on my top hip here, just to make sure my hips are stacked. Let's remind ourselves to lift the bottom rib up. So with our top hand, I even like to reach it up towards the ceiling here to make sure not dropping it down. Those abs are still working to help support you. If you want to amp it up even more, you can hold on to that prop and reach it up towards the ceiling here. Challenging your balance a little bit. We're just here for 6 more. And 5. If your neck is bothering you, for some of you guys, you can always look down towards your right forearm here as well, relieving any tension. We're just here for 3. And 2. Can you hold your right leg lifted? Hold. From here, can you flex that right foot? Point that right foot. Flex and point. Really great. We're just here for 8 more again. Really articulate that ankle, guys. 6 more. And 5. And 4. Last 3. And 2. Last 1. Point those toes, hold. Can you pulse the right leg up and up? 1 final. We're just here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Lower it down. Punch out that right inner thigh if you need to. You're going to go back into bending both legs out. You're going to bring that prop behind your left knee this time. We're going to get into some top leg up glute series. So from here, flex those both feet. Make sure those knees are in front of your hips here. So it's kind of like you're sitting down on an imaginary chair. From here, keep that squeeze of that prop behind your left knee so you don't lose it. You're going to lift it up and down. Lift it up and down. So pretty simple series here to start. So while you're going with these first series, again, remember to really press up and away from your right forearm here so you're not crushing down on your right shoulder. Lifting the lower obliques up and away from the floor. We're just here for 4 and 3. We're going to hold the left leg lifted and hips width apart in 2. Last one, hold. From here, keep that squeeze. You're going to send the knees back into a kickback and bring it back in. So you're extending that hip, so getting rid of any creases in front of your pants as you send the knee back and bring it back in. I like to exhale every time I kick back, inhale every time I draw back in. You should feel the back of your leg and the hamstring still working here as well because it is squeezing that prop so you don't lose it. We're just here for 4 more. And 3. And 2. Last one, can you hold it, kick back, hold. From here, top arm comes down towards the floor as well. You're rotating your thoracic spine towards the floor, so now you're looking on towards the floor. So now your torso is twisted. That left leg is still kicked back. Can you squeeze that heel in towards your glutes? Squeeze it in and squeeze it in. So you're really just going into a hamstring curl here, squeezing that prop. Your hamstring should really be kicking in. We're just here for 8 more. And 7. And 6, and keep lifting that chest off and away from the floor. And 5. And 4, you're gonna keep that squeeze in. In 3. In 2. Last one is keep that squeeze, hold from your pulse, so hips up and pulse it up. Really great, this is your final one. We're just here for 8. And 7. That outer left hip should be burning. And 5. And 4. Can you squeeze the ball even more? And 3. And 2. Last one. And bring it back in. Whew. Punch out that left glute if you need to. If you want to go into a quick mermaid stretch, go for it here as well. So right foot's gonna go against that left knee. Bring your left hand down up towards the floor, right arm up and over. And go into a quick side stretch. And let's repeat all of that on the other side. So you're gonna go on your left forearm this time. Whew. All right, bend both knees in first. Send your hips back slightly if you need to, so it's aligned towards your shoulders. And then you're going to send that left leg out long. Step that right foot up and over on your tippy toes, just to perch it up. And from here, again, you can have that prop underneath your lower oblique here if you want, or just have it by the side for easy access. And when you are ready, let's point those toes out of your left toes, lift it up, and lower it down. Lift it up and lower it down. Again, I like to have my right hand on my right hip here just to make sure that those hips are stacked. And again, reach those right hands underneath that left ribs, guys, and really reach it up and off the floor just to, again, remind yourself that that left oblique is still active. Try not to slump in your left shoulders. Really press the left forearm in towards the floor here to really get away from those shoulders. You want to really have healthy shoulders here. If you want to hold on to the prop and reach it up towards the ceiling, just for a little bit of more of a balance challenge here, go for it here as well. We're just here for 4. And 3. And 2. Last one, keep that left leg lifted, hold. Can you flex those left toes? Point those left toes. Flex and point. I feel like in general, my left side is a little bit weaker than my right, especially because I'm a right-handed person. So every time I do these single side series, my left side is definitely not as strong and needs a little bit more extra work. So really try to observe which side needs a little bit more work on, guys. Every time you do these series. We're just here for 4. And we're going to hold that pointed toes in 3 and 2. Last one, point those toes. Final pulsing up towards the ceiling. We're just here for 8 and 7 and 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Woo. Bring it up. Punch off that left inner thigh if you need to. Your both legs are going to be bent this time. Again, knees are in front of your hips. Put that buttery hands. Put that prop behind your right knee. And give it a little squeeze so you don't lose it like I did. And from here, flex those to both toes. You're going to lift that right leg up and lower it down. Lift it up and lower it down. So again, for these first series here, just to check with your form, again, using your lower obliques to lift up the bottom abs away from the floor. We're just here for 5 and 4 and 3. We're going to hold it up in tabletop in hips width distance apart and 2. Last one, hold. Keep it slightly lifted, so a few inches away from 2 knees. And from here, it's going to that kick back. So you're going to kick your right foot back, extending that right hip long. Ooh, I'm hitting the cloth behind me. I'm going to shimmy a few just forward. Better. Keep that squeeze in the up ball. You should feel the back of your glutes and those hamstrings fire up. We're just here for 7 more. I know, random number. And 6. Can you keep closing those front ribs in front of you? Make sure it's not flaring out. That way your core is still supporting your body here. We're just here for 4. About to lose that prop. And 3. I blame the slippery leggings. And 2. Last one, can you hold that kick back? Hold. Make sure there's no creases in front of your pants. Rotate your torso so that you're looking down towards the floor, so right hand on towards the floor. And from here, can you give a little bit of squeeze and a little bit of squeeze into that hamstring pull. So your right heel should be getting a little bit closer towards your right butt, or at least that's the goal. We're just here for 8 and 7 and 6. Try to keep that right knee lifted, guys. It's easy to just drop the right knee. We're just here for 4 and 3. You're gonna hold that squeeze and 2. Last one. Keep that squeeze. Can you pulse the entire leg up towards the ceiling and up towards the ceiling? Getting in towards that side glute of that right leg. It's one of my favorite muscles to work. Really great. Again, we're just here for 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2. Last one. And bring it back down. Whew. Lower that down. Bring that prop in front of you. Come back up. So right hand down towards the floor. Left arm up and over. Quick side stretch for your left obliques. Again, your obliques are working this entire time to really support you so that you can really get into your glutes. Bring it back in. We have just one more series here left, guys, and we're going to be in a standing series. So let's come up onto your feet. You're going to hold onto that prop if you have one. Readjust your pants or your leggings if you need to, just like I am. Go into next rotation for those 2 feet. A little bit wider than the hips, so distance apart. I'm gonna have my hands holding on to that saddle. And from here again, toes are away from each other. Those knees are pointing the same direction as those toes are as well. Bring those abs in, and from here, just tuck that pelvis so that your tailbone isn't like jutting out towards the back end. So you're not really showing off your butt here. You're gonna go into a tilt. So it's kind of a posterior tilt where your tailbone is kind of tucked in here. That way you're just protecting your lower back. So again, tuck that pelvis. And from here, when you are ready, let's go into a squat. So plie squat, sending those knees up over and bring it back in. So every time you squat, send those knees towards the direction of those toes so they're not knocking in towards each other here. So especially as we already did work on our inner thighs quite a bit, you should feel those inner thighs really fire on and support you every time you go into this plie squat. Every time you squat, can you make sure you're not leaning forward here? You're making sure that spine is still vertical and that your head is in front and on top of your spine the entire time as you're just going down vertically and up. Just like an elevator here. I like to even squeeze my hands in towards that prop every time I squat and bring it back in. Gives me just a little bit more feedback, especially because it's really easy to just lose control of your abs here every time you squat and just flare your hip ribs out. So by giving a little bit of a push in towards your hands in towards the center, you're telling yourself to really bring those abs in and then really hugging the ribs in as well. So again, using that core to support your lower back. We're just here for 4 more. And you guessed it, we're gonna hold at the bottom in 3. In 2. Last one, can you hold at the bottom? From here, you're gonna lift your right heel up, lower, left heel up, and lower. Right heel up, lower, left heel up, and lower. Just 2 more on each side. Last one. From here, let's go to some thoracic rotation. So you're going to rotate your right, so rotate towards the right, bring it back towards center, rotate towards the left, and bring it back towards center. I like to even go into a T, handing the ball on towards the right, pass it over towards the left, and open out. Again, I'm going to scooch a little bit forward so I don't hit the dresser. Much better. And let's combine that. So every time you rotate towards the right heel lifts. Every time you rotate towards the left heel lifts. Really great, guys. Can you come a little bit lower here? Really getting into those obliques, those inner thighs, and those outer glutes all at the same time, and even ankle stability. Full body workout here. We're just here for 3 more on each side. And 2. Last one. Bring it back to our center. Drop that ball. Have your hands behind your head. We're going to keep adding here as well. So we're going to go into a lateral flexion. So bring your right elbow towards your right knee. Go into a side bend. Center. Left knee towards the left. Left elbow towards left knee. Center. Elbow towards knee. center, elbow towards knee, center. And now let's combine all that. So you're gonna rotate towards the right heel lifted optionally, bring it back towards center, ladder reflect on the same side, center, rotate towards the left as you lift your left heel up, center, ladder reflex. This is the most choreo we're gonna do, guys, so don't worry. So the great thing about having your hands behind your head here is that you can really press your head in towards your hands to, again, make sure that your head is stacked up over your spine. It's not just jutting forward like you're having a text neck, you know? As you're going to a lateral flexion, really lift those bottom obliques up so that you're really going up and over like a candy cane shape. So you're like up and over like you're going over a hill or something. We're just here for 2 more on each side. Last one on each side. Last one on the left. And then last one, can you hold in the center? Hold. Can you pulse down a few inches and pulse down a few inches? This is your final finale here, guys. We're just here for 8 and 7. Close those ribs in. Narrow that waistline. We're just here for 5 and 4 and 3. Can you hold in 2? Last one, hold the lowest you can go. Hold. Send those knees back, send those knees back. We're just pulsing the back of those legs back. We're just here for 8, 7, final one for that outside glutes, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in. Woo. Spread those arms out. Bring those 2 feet, shake it off. Inner thigh should be on fire. Let's go into a stretch. All right. So we are going to go into inner thigh stretch. So we're just gonna bend at those left knees. Extend those right heel out. Right toes towards your nose. You should feel that right inner thigh stretch. Whew. I like to have my hands in front of me here as support. And just sit into that. Really great. So I think this ended up being a little bit more of a 30-minute class. Always ends up like that. As I really just like to juice out each series, you know? Might as well. Work until, you know, all your muscles are fatigued. And then let's go to the other side. Lengthening out that left inner thigh. Well, if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, I urge you to please do. And if you like this video, please like or even comment as well. That will really help me as well to learn about what you guys like, as to really better offer better classes moving forward. I do post a new class every week on Mondays. That's the plan. So please keep coming back, set your alerts up so that you can always start your week off fresh with a new Pilates class. And from here, come back up, shake it off if you want to, soften your knees slightly, and as you're rolling yourself up, 1 vertebrae at a time, roll your shoulders back. And that is all that I have for you. I'll see you next week, guys. Great job.